Morning. It's just a quick follow-up from yesterday from the scrapyard video for my non-ferrous weigh-in. The weigh-in itself was pretty good. The camera died, so couldn't get the end footage. The total weigh-in was £1,620. So we used to do our weekly weigh-ins, and my partner made the suggestion actually that we should do it monthly. So yesterday's was about 2.5 weeks of the month, but we picked up some non-ferrous that we bought on the way back from the scrapyard. Some brazery that we've got to prepare. I mean, you can see there's all sorts in there. It's quite a lot. I think there's about 200 odd kilos of brazery that we picked up and needs processing. It's quite a bit of it, yeah. So I'm going to get on with some of this on Monday. That's got a bit of everything on it. Number 2 brass. There's no number 1 on YouTube on there, but some of this here which has got solder joints. The plan is to just cut them off and turn the bit that I'm holding in my hand into new tube. Just clean it all up really. Like I said, I think there's about 200 odd kilo here. There's still another available to us, about 7 ton of this sort of material that we can buy. This is kind of a 200 kilo test run to see how we get on, because there is a lot. Although there's a lot of high value metal here, there's also a fair bit of crap. So as you can see, the steel that's on these boiler casings. You've also got a lot of heat exchangers which are relatively worthless compared to the copper and brass. So I need to strip it. I need to clean it all down really and work out. I'm going to have separate buckets. I'm going to have a bucket for the steel. I'm going to have a bucket for brass, bucket for number 1, bucket for number 2, and then a bucket for plastics. So I need to work out the ratios of what we actually ended up with versus what we paid. And if it turns out to be profitable, then I'll be doing this sort of stuff quite regularly. And making some videos on it. That's quite a full bucket. I want to fall at the end there. Yeah, I'll be making some regular videos about stripping brazery and how we're going to be buying non-ferrous metals. But some of these chunks of brass that's a lump, a proper lump. But there's a little bit of number 2 copper on there. Or heavy or painted or whatever you want to call it. Even these little bits, I'm not going to go to the extreme of trimming that off, but I am going to clean it down as best I can. There is stuff in here that don't even need, if I can find a bit, you know, there is stuff in here that don't even need cleaning. It can just go straight as number 2. For example, I can just cut the solder joints off there and there, and then it's not really, I can't class it as new tube, but it can go in a number 1. That little bit there can go as new tube. I can trim that down. So yeah, so we ended up selling 1,600 quid's worth of non-ferrous metals to the scrapyard. But on the way home we purchased, yeah, probably our biggest purchase so far of strippable material, let's call it that. So I've got my work cut out. I'm going to get on with that probably Monday or Tuesday, and I'll let you know how I get on. See what the totals are, and once I'm done, I'll put up a, you know, sort of comparison, what I paid versus what I made. Yeah, we'll see what 200 kilo brazery, what the return is on it. But yeah, nice. Right, So it is 10 to 7 on Sunday evening. Yesterday, when did we get this stuff from Scrapyard? Friday I picked up 200 kilo of mixed material from the scrapyard. I did the short video on it, and I've spent all day today just basically prepping it. So that's just the offcuts of steel tat that we don't want. That's a quarter of a bucket of brass. That's just some motors and pumps. That's number 2 copper. Don't look like it. That's just plasticky bits. That's number 1 copper, heat exchangers, and a very, very small amount of cable. So yeah, we got 200 kilo of material, and that's what I did with it. That's what I've been doing all day. I think I said I went to Northampton to see one of our plumbers. This is what he gave us. Right. There's a load of brassy, coppery bits of goodness, and then these 2 buckets are full of pumps and brass. He also gave us 3 unstripped boilers and a bag of boiler pumps for me to strip. Yeah, he gave us a call and said, could we go and help him out? He had a little bit of rubbish, bits and pieces in there. He had a little bit of rubbish for us to go and collect. 3 bin bags, a couple of cardboard boxes, and that's what he gave us. Oh, a bit of lead in there, and that's what he's given us instead of payment. Got some bits and pieces. Nice. I'll get stripping that over the next few days. This is all going back to the scrapyard tomorrow. They so we haven't actually paid them for it. The arrangement was that we took 200 kilo, we took it away, we processed it. We're going to go back, we're going to see what each type of metal, brass, copper, etc. is worth, and then we're going to negotiate either a buy price for us or a labour fee for me to do it. But even if it's a couple of £100 profit, I've done it all on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, not bad. Quite happy with how that's come out. And I mean, I could have cleaned it up better, probably, yes, but yeah, it's as good as it's going to be. Awesome. Nice.